Yes, prediction time. I've already used my crystal ball to predict the driver lineups in 2025, so now let's use my incredible wheel knowledge to let you know right now in February how the season is going to go. Starting off with the 10th place team, Haas. This thing is a mess, mainly because of the swearing machine that is Günther Steiner, and that is why they will be staying dead last in the standings. They've built a nice looking car, well done, but good looks don't equal good performance. It will be a dark few years for Haas unless they can pull a double diffuser-esque design choice out of the bag. And about the teammate battle, is this even a question? Nico Hülkenberg will be victorious. I guess my somewhat controversial opinion for this year is that the Sauber car actually looks good, but that doesn't mean that I think it's going to be any more than the 9th best car once again. As they slowly transition into Audi, they will slowly get better, but while they've still got kick plastered all over the car, it's probably not going to be good. Another year of 9th, slow cars and Ferrari reliability is on the cards for the Sauber team. Onto the teammate wars, Zhou will beat Bottas as he aims to try and get a seat in 2025, and Bottas starts to decline, but with a few good performances, mostly in the Middle East because they're good there for some reason. I think Williams are improving and will continue to do so, but they are being held back by a certain Freedom Merchant, and even though I think Sargent will score more points this year, maybe 1 or 2, the team is going to be in a worse position than what they should be in. I think VCarb will go clear from them, and for this reason they will drop from 7th to 8th place. And as for the teammates, I think it's very obvious. Albon is clear. Alpine still don't have good engines, and now that VCarb are going to be better performance wise, they can say goodbye to their 6th place finishes because they are only going backwards. Until they can basically reset in 2026, it's not going to be good for Alpine, but their drivers help their cause a lot and the car isn't that bad. As for the teammates, Gasly will just be ahead of Ocon once again. They are so equally matched, but it's going to be the man from Rouen who will take the victory within that team. VCarb will finally be taking Red Bull parts, and for that reason they will move from the back of the grid to the midfield along with Aston Martin and Alpine. I think it's going to be incredibly close between these three teams, but it will be VCarb who finish in 6th place. And the teammate wars, Ricciardo will just edge past Yuki and not much will separate them. A team that won't be moving up or down in the grid is Aston Martin. It'll be another frustrating year for them as they attempt to carry Lance Stroll along with them and Fernando does all the work. It's painful to see, but hopefully they can try and climb up the grid once again. I doubt it though. And the teammate wars, yeah, we can quickly move on to the top 4. Mercedes are kind of falling away. It's going to be a bad one for their standards. McLaren keep making positive strides and Ferrari are still kicking about, so I can't see Mercedes doing anything this year. And the teammate battle, well, there are going to be a few crashes this year, I can feel it. Mercedes will probably favour George, seeing as Lewis is literally leaving the team, so I think Hamilton will be the winner. McLaren have improved so much over the past year, it's absurd. This very time last year, they were like the 8th best car, but now they're challenging for podiums and wins. They might do it this year, especially if Red Bull's no pod doesn't work out, but realistically, Max is driving so well that it's going to be hard to stop them. And as for the teammates, it's obvious. Lando will have the upper hand, but Pastry will put in some great performances as well, once again. Second is Ferrari because they just are. They're Ferrari. It just seems right. Mercedes out of the picture and McLaren not being that close yet, and you have yourselves another 2nd place finish. And the teammates, well, considering one has already been shafted out of the door before the season even started, I'll make a bold prediction and say Charles Leclerc will beat Sainz. I know, outrageous decision. And that means Red Bull in 1st. What a surprise. I don't even need to explain myself. Max will piss the championship and we go again in 2025. Checo might be a passenger once again. And now some predictions to laugh at in December when I look back at these. Most improved driver, Guan Yu Zhou. The backing behind him can only go so far before it's not enough, and I think Zhou knows this and is going to have a point to prove. Most Logan Sargent. This is pretty obvious. He might eventually outqualify Albon, but don't bet on it. He barely even completed a quali lap last year because he always exceeded track limits and he is generally pretty average. Closest teammates, Ocon and Gasly. Last year showed us what to expect from these two and it will probably be another repeat again. Mostly because not much is changing in the team and they aren't going to be moving up or down much. Furthest teammates. The Red Bull team is a boring and obvious pick, so I'll go for Stroll and Alonso at Aston Martin. Stroll is pretty average most of the time and Alonso delivers no matter what car he has, so let's see. Controversial opinion. Zhou will finish above Bottas in the standings. Man, I'm really putting all my eggs in this Zhou-shaped basket. World champion, Max Verstappen. Duh. He is simply a level above the rest and is absolutely unbeatable on his day, which is literally every single day. Constructors champion, Red Bull. Duh. When a driver and team are this in sync, it's really hard to beat them, and so this is an obvious pick, kind of like Vettel in 2013. F2 champion. I don't really know much about F2, so I'll say Ritomo Miyata. I mean, he won Super Formula ahead of Liam Lawson last year, and we've seen that he's a pretty good driver, so why not? I know we've got the likes of Ollie Behrman, Victor Martin, Bortoleto, Antonelli, and Villagomez, but still, I want to go for a rogue shout. F3 champion. It's the same story here, but still, I'm going to go for Gabriele Mini. He was pretty decent last year, grabbing 2 wins and finishing 7th in the standings, and considering all but one driver in front of him in the standings is heading up to F2, he'll probably be champion. And finally, the Destructors Championship, my favourite. It's going to be a close one between Lance Stroll and Logan Sargent, so I'll go for Mr. Freedom. But if Schumacher gets an FP1 session for Mercedes, you best know he is topping the list, even if he only does one. The man loves a written off car. Alright, I've kept you waiting, so here is my full driver standings predictions. 20th, Logan Sargent. This man is just so mid, it's insane. 19th, Magnussen. Another mid one, and it will be sad to see Magnussen stoop to another low again, like in 2020. 18th, Bottas. He doesn't seem to care as much about Formula 1 anymore, which is fair, and so he isn't going to be as hungry as his teammate will be, so he'll be cruising through 2024. 17th, Nico Hülkenberg. He's probably going to get a pole position and then proceed to finish 15th this year. So look forward to leaving the team in 2025, Nico. It's not going to be a good one. 16th is Zhou Guanyu. I think I've waxed lyrical enough about Zhou, so we'll move to 15th. 15th, Alex Albon. He'll put his Williams in places it shouldn't be and will grab a few great points finishes. 14th, Stroll. I'd hate to see this happen, but I do see it happening. 13th, Ocon. The first baguette in Alpine will be very close to the cars ahead of him. 12th, Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki will have a better year than last year where he is consistent, not as error prone and very good in qualifying. 11th, Pierre Gasly. He'll beat Ocon again, and as I said before, there won't be much to separate them. 10th, Ricciardo. The Honey Badger will be eager to impress after barely driving last year, and he will want that Red Bull seat. 9th, Alonso. 9th would be a great season for Alonso if Aston are the 5th best car, and he'll probably grab a few podiums before ditching the team for someone else next year. 8th, Russell. Once again, Russell will be the bottom place driver out of the top teams. 7th, Oscar Piastri. In the 3rd best car, I see Piastri moving up the grid as he gets more and more experience in F1. 6th, Carlos Sainz. Sainz is going to feel hard done by this year, and he doesn't even have a seat confirmed, so it's going to literally be him, I hate it, but driving to survive. 5th, Lando Norris. Norris might get his first win this year. It's his best chance to, since the car will be consistently quick and always up there. 4th, Sergio Perez. This will probably be Perez's last season, which is sad. 14 seasons in the sport and probably another bad one for him as Max demolishes him and he gets swept up by the cars around him. 3rd, Hamilton. Hamilton is still a quality driver and showed last year as he fought with a Red Bull that he's definitely still got it. 2nd, Charles Leclerc. Now that Ferrari will fully be on his side, Leclerc can really show what he's made of. Maybe it's optimistic to put him 2nd, but I don't care. He's up there with the best in qualifying, and with a good car and good reliability, he can beat Max. But first is obviously Verstappen. Him and the team are just too good. It's a terrifying prospect seeing this combination staying together for another 4 years. 2026 regulations, save us please. And that's probably it for me before I get wheeled away to a mental hospital. Leave your predictions down below, and thank you to I Am Cyrox for being a member of the Kinggrave channel.